be anyone here just yet because I have only just gone live and I haven't advertised it, so this one is very much impromptu, unplanned, unexpected live stream. So I am talking at the moment to no one, but if you're watching this back, hopefully then you have some benefit from explaining what I'm doing. So I'm here in the garden and I've got some samples in front of me that were sent to me by Tim, the lovely Tim Wilcox. So thank you, Tim, for sending me these. I've been meaning to do a live on them for quite a while, but just haven't had the energy for a live stream. I've been busy as well, and a couple of times I could have fitted it in, didn't quite have the right energy for it. I always need to be in the right kind of mood. Hey Rich, hey Margie. I need to be in the right kind of mood. I'm not someone who can just, hey Antonio, nice to see you. I'm not someone who can just do a live stream. I mean, I guess I could. If you held a gun to my head, I absolutely could. But generally speaking, I like to be in the right mood. I like to have you know, not to feel tired and to have a little bit of energy, and I actually do because I'm on nights, but I had a decent sleep. I've got another night to do today, so that means I won't be here very long because I start work at 6:30, need to log on my computer about 15 minutes prior to that ish, so I won't be here very long, but I'm gonna sniff through some samples. Hey Tracy. And yeah, how's your Sunday afternoon going, everyone? Beautiful here. Dappled little, oh, would you call them dappled? No. Fluffy little scattered clouds. Beautiful, sunny, not too hot. Really lovely, beautiful day. I wish I had the time to go out on my paddleboard, but today I didn't get up till gone 2, so there's just not enough time. A bit dehydrated as well at the moment. Anyway, let's get on with some sniffing. So I've got some Frederic Malles here. They're quite strong, so maybe we'll save those till afterwards. We've got Rose and Queer. We've got Lys Mediterranee. I believe I've smelt that before, just in the shop, so I don't know it really. And Don Tebra, I think I had a bottle of it years ago. Really liked it, but not quite enough to keep it. But I definitely really like it. Don Tebra and Lipstick Rose are probably my favourites from Frederic Malle, and Portrait of a Lady is an absolute classic masterpiece. Oh, also we've got this one here, which I'm pretty sure I won't like, Promise. So they're the Frederic Malles, and then we have Les Années 25. This is a tower. It was Andy Towers, sort of like a limited edition. And I remember when it came out being really tempted to blind buy it. I think it's a citrus iris. I could be wrong, but I remember really liking the sound of the notes, albeit they didn't sound that interesting, but they sounded nice. And then, nearly dropped it, we have Le Cri. Le Cri is, I've forgotten the company now. If anyone knows, let me know. Is it Parfum d'Empire? It's a... oh my god, can't wait for you to try the Promise. I struggle a bit with it. Thank you, Margie. Yeah, I'm sure I will too. Phil says, Claire, you're beaming today. Thank you very much, Phil. Had a good sleep, loving life. I'm going to Croatia in less than 2 weeks. I'm really excited. Everything's coming into plan. I was worried about who's going to look after the cat. That is now sorted. A colleague is actually going to come and stay in my house and look after my cat, which is amazing. She is having her flat refurbished, so it's a very mutually agreeable situation. She gets to have a break from the refurbishment and the noise, and Aniela gets a full-time carer. So I sorted that out. I found out how to park my car and not spend a fortune at the airport, so really all sorted for that. Hey Hills, hey y'all, she says. So I'm really excited to be going to the beautiful Croatia, because I've not been for years and years and years, and I love it. Loving life, loving my paddleboarding. Went out yesterday, squeezed in a little paddleboarding session because I got up too early yesterday, and that was really nice. So yeah. And then also in terms of what we're smelling, I've got Cuir Canage from Dior. Cuir Canage. This is the only one I did smell when Tim said when it all arrived. And I'll talk about it more later. I just had to smell it. I was really curious about that one. So we're going to use Tim's strips. So bless Tim, a little while ago actually sent me a whole packet of testing strips. I think he got sick of me using torn up note paper and newspapers and used toilet roll for sniffing strips. That last option didn't work too well. Right, Antonio says he loves Promise. So we'll start with these. Let's see, what's going to be the lightest? I reckon Les Années from Tower is going to be the lightest. I hate him. So we haven't started sniffing yet. You're just in time. Les Années from Andy Tower. Pretty sure it's discontinued. It was a limited edition, I think, unless he's done another one recently. I don't know. I haven't looked it up, so I can't spray it. I can't spray it. Here we go. Right, we're on. Oh yes. Okay, I smell the iris in the air. It is, as I said, it's a citrus iris. That's really nice. It's almost like yeah, it reminds me of Brooklyn from Gallivant. So it's a sweet citrus. So it's almost like boiled sweets in lemon and orange flavors, and almost a little fizzy as well. So it's definitely got this beautiful sweet, boiled sweet citrus scent to it, with a very soft silky touch of suede like iris in there. It's really nice. I can smell a hint of earth as well, or an earthiness. So I don't actually smell earth, but you know, just a little bit of maybe it's the iris, a little bit of that earthiness, almost mushroom, like a really subtle mushroom. That's what I mean. Tim says I did Années 25 BIS, meaning again apparently. Okay, this is really nice. I definitely want to put this one on skin, but we'll do that in a bit. Hillary says Brooklyn's my favourite from Gallivant. Yeah, this is it's not quite as sweet and bright as Brooklyn. I'd say it's got a little more earthiness. It's more down to earth. So like as if there's just a touch, I don't know what's in here, but it wouldn't surprise me if there's a little bit of patchouli, maybe something like a more earthy resin, like a labdanum, a little hint of white woods, clean woods. Really, really nice. I like that a lot. And I read the notes years ago when it came out, I definitely knew that I'd like it, or felt like I'd like it, but I was also afraid it might be a bit boring. And I wouldn't say that. I don't think it's boring. It's really nice. I like that a lot. Thank you for the sample, Timbo. Right, so that's Les Années 25, or that would be 25. Les Années 25 if we're talking French. No, this is the Tower, Les Années 25. Getting all French on your heels. So we can do Queer Carnage next. Queer Carnage. When this one arrived, I did try it straight away. I was really intrigued by the notes, or not the notes, the reviews on Fragrantica, because a lot of people said it's not as leathery as they expected, that it's sweeter than they expected, and I have to say I agree. Can't remember the exact notes, except obviously there's leather. But to me, I get bubblegum when I first spray it. I don't know any of those words, French words. I think I got a cat hair on my face. But yeah, we did French at school, and then I spent a few months in France in my early 20s. So I picked it up a little bit, and my mum lives in France, so occasionally I go out and hear it. So I try to remember. Yeah, Queer Carnage, when you first spray it, I instantly get bubblegum. I don't know if it's a tuberose, but it definitely smells fruity, like a fruity floral, bubblegummy type smell, with this tacked on sort of leather, but it's not like full on leather. It's not a leather jacket. It's kind of soft. Not soft, it's more earthy. So I guess, you know, because you can get leather notes from a few different materials, this is probably a little more earthy, smoky. Yeah, I'd say it's definitely got some smoke, almost barbecue. Hill says it took 10 years of Spanish and many more of sign language. It doesn't help me with perfumes at all, no. Yeah, I've forgotten what that note is, that generally is used for leather, and sometimes yeah, it escapes my mind. But it's a bit smoky and a little bit earthy, and it's a natural ingredient that is not actually leather. So I can't remember if it's a resin or a plant. But I definitely get a little, like almost like a smoky barbecue like, without it going too meaty. So there's no meat on the barbecue, but it's a bit barbecuey. No, not cypriol. I think it might be 2 words. My brain is like a sieve. Might be 2 words. Might be like 1 syllable in the first word, 2 syllables in the second. I don't know. It's really commonly used for a leather note. Birch tar, yes, yes, Tim. Smells like birch tar. God, what is up with me? It's like, I mean, maybe it smells like birch tar, but it's definitely. I mean, if you listen, I mean, the words birch tar, I actually smell something that's like tar-like here. Love a bit of Shiraz. 1 word, first word. Vacationitis, yeah. So you've got this really interesting perfume because you've got this sweet bubblegum like, and it's not exactly like really badly synthetically bubblegummy, but it's just a bubblegum-esque feel with this earthy, slightly smoky, leathery type thing. Really, really interesting. I don't know what the notes are, but I mean, it's not quite me, I don't think. Probably a bit too on that smoky leather side for me. But I think it's sexy. Like, if someone was to wear this around me, I'd definitely be asking what they're wearing. I would say they smell unique. I'd say they smell interesting. I'd say they smell good. Yeah. I don't know if there's some iris in here. I get that kind of like a fluffy feel of iris as well. It is really good. Cuir Canage, honestly, if you like the general sound of it, you should totally try it. It's not boring. It is not boring. It's good. And then we're going to move on to Le Cri, and I think is it Parfums d'Empire, Tim? Le Cri. This is a rose perfume that is very highly rated by Luca Turin. Gotcha. I caught it. Highly rated by Luca Turin in his book, which I've forgotten what that is. I think it's black, but you can get it in different covers. So Le Cri, I know that it's a rose perfume, and I can't remember the rest of the notes. And so instantly, I get quite a sharp rose. So it smells like it's a mixture of rose and geraniums. You know how geranium can smell kind of like sharp and rosy at the same time. So like almost lemony rose, but it's not like I smell a lemon as a separate note. It does make me think a little bit of Portrait of a Lady, that opening, the rose in the opening of Portrait of a Lady maybe. Feels musky, like a nice clean musky powder. Tim's multitasking, making Yorkshire pudding, very nice. Love a Sunday roast. I've had leftover pizza for breakfast. Hashtag living my best life. So I do get some powder here. Yeah, almost talcum, not like too much, but a bit talcum powdery. Musky, clean, powdered skin. Yeah, because it's got that kind of like musky skin-like feel with a bit of a sharp rose on top. My guess is this is going to be a lot better on skin. It might help round it out a little bit. Roast beef, very nice. I don't have any perfume on, so do you know what? I am going to put this on skin now. Le Cri. Just make sure there's nothing left over. Okay, right, we are on skin with Lacree. Let that settle a moment. Let me know what you're all wearing today and what have you been up to, what are you up to? Yeah, I get something, oh God, I get quite a lot here. Another one that's making me think of mushrooms was so interesting. Like, I don't normally use mushrooms as a term to describe things, but I do feel like I'm getting that in here as well, on a stronger level than I did in the Les Années. That was a very gentle sort of mushroom irisy type thing. Yeah, this has a bit of a mushroom feel to it with the rose. The rose is what I would still call sharp, not as sharp as it was on paper. It feels a little more rounded. Oh, hey Eugene, he gets mushrooms from Iris. That is Letty, isn't it? 12 Pretty Things. Am I right? No, it's not. No, sorry. Oh, that's Sherry. So my brain is, do you know what? I'm on nights. I've done 3 12-hour night shifts. I've got another one to do. So I'm sorry if I get things wrong. That's my brain at the moment. Anyway, Sherry is testing Matière Première Parisian Musk. I'm not sure if it's not anything I haven't smelt before. That one wasn't quite for me, and I think it was just a particular note in there just wasn't for me. I should love it. I love musky stuff, but no, didn't dislike it. It's just not that interesting to me. Lacree is giving me powder. It's giving me a little bit like talcum powder. Earthy mushrooms. The rose is a little sharp. I'm not sure. I think I would prefer a more sweeter rose or a more richer rose. Really, really nice though. Really interesting. Not a particularly sweet perfume. It's got a freshness to it. That rose is kind of like sharp, fresh and sharp. Oh, cool. Thank you, Eugene. So Eugene did a live stream the other day. I only caught up with a little bit of it yesterday, and was talking about doing I think it just came up organically. They were talking about how Eugene didn't want to reveal the notes and wants to see if people can sort of not necessarily get them, but just describe the perfumes in their own way without relying on note listing. And I was like, yes please, because I love doing that. I just love to search the depths of my brain for the words to describe perfume. I find it's a really good challenge to myself. And yeah, often I'm wrong, sometimes I'm right, and when I'm right I'm really pleased with myself. Yeah, this is nice. Lacree, I can see why it's highly rated. It's definitely quite unique for a rose. I mean, there's a million rose perfumes out there. I'd say this one's fairly unique because it's not particularly sweet. It's definitely not a gourmand territory rose. Hey, drawn by. Similar to Tim, battling with veg, chopping, also making a loaf of bread. Wow, fabulous. Tigi girl, Lily. Oh, thank you, Lily. Yes, so Lacree is definitely getting a thumbs up from me. I will give that a proper wearing. I'm going to put Les Années Van Sank on my my right wrist here, because I'd like to smell that on skin with it. Anything that's got iris, musk in particular, I think has to go on skin. It smells so good. I really do like, I'd say this is my favourite of them. It's almost on the skin, almost virgin on animalic. So that sort of like mushroominess that I described earlier, I feel like it's much more elevated on the skin, and it almost makes it smell slightly animalic, not in a specifically like civet, castoreum. I wouldn't say it's any of the typical animalic ingredients, unless there's like a floral in here that's got a touch of an indole in it. I don't know. Do I smell, apart from the iris, do I smell floral? On skin, it's much more powdery, clean. It's like almost talcum powdery, but with a slightly dirty smell to it. Almost, it's not exactly fecal, but you know, sometimes you get a like nappy vibe, nappy or diaper if you're in the States. But imagine like you've got a soiled diaper and you're waving it in the air a fair distance away. So it's not like we're smelling shit right up close. But it's just like a hint of, maybe it's even like smelling the whole baby and the slightly soiled nappy all at the same time, which is such a strange thing to say. But it's like the musky, you know how babies have that musky smell? Yeah, so it's like talcum powder and babies and the musky smell of the baby's head and also a slight element of the nappy. Which is, yeah, but I do feel like I'm getting a teeny tiny bit of some sort of like woody aroma chemical type scent. Maybe, just a teeny tiny bit. So yeah, I like that. I'm not sure how much I like it now because I really liked it on paper. It might be a little too powdery for me, and I do like a powder, but this might be just a touch too on the talc powdery, and I tend to like things that smell like more like a really nice face powder. Tim said, I've never got animalic from Lacree. Interesting, you always give us a great insight. Thank you. Yeah, I'm talking with the animalics baby nappy thing. I was talking about Les Années. With Lacree, did I say it's about animalic? I don't think so. I think it's more like just a hint of mushroom, I think. I don't really get anything animalic from Lacree. And I don't really get much of that mushroom anymore on the skin. I find the rose just a little jarring. Just a bit, whether there's geranium in there, because I can find geranium a bit jarring, I don't know, but I think just smelling it in the air is fabulous, you know, but going like this and analysing it, it's like it's just a bit sharp for me, and I am obviously really fussy. So let's move on to the Frederic Malles. So we're going to leave the Promise one till last because I think that's going to be the strongest and probably my least favourite. So we'll start with Lys Mediterranee, which is obviously going to be a lily fragrance, and we've got a nice red. Yeah, that's clean. So Lys Mediterranee, Uncut Gem. No, I haven't seen that one yet, Eugene. I've just got Lys Mediterranee, Dons Tibra, Rose and Queer, and Promise here. That's all I've got. Ooh, yeah, it's one of those. Wow, it's almost a little daffodil like. So it's definitely a lily, but it's like they're dead now behind me. At certain times of the year you'll see, when I'm sitting here, really lovely big white lilies with those stamen inside and all the yellow powder, and it totally reminds me of those. Also smells a little bit like, is it not hyacinth? Basically it's a green floral colour lily. Is that what the scent is, or is that what the flower I'm describing? Ginger lily, says Eugene. It's a very potent, rich lily with all the pollen inside it. My flowers, are they a calla lily, are they? I know nothing about gardening. Any flowers in this garden were nothing to do with me. Actually, I've now got 2 rose bushes, or 2 small rose bushes that my mum and her other half helped me put in. Or that, let's be honest, they put them in for me. I picked them out. Picked them out for their scent and their prettiness, but I'm not sure if I've killed them because they're not flowering at the moment. Anyway, so I'm not a gardener. This is a very strong, in-your-face lily with all the powder. It's got peppery elements to it. It's green. it's a little on the sharp side. It also reminds me of Ostara from Penhaligon's, which is a daffodil or narcissus scent. So if you told me this was a narcissus perfume, I would totally, I would say it smelled more lily-like, but it also does smell like there's narcissus in here. It's got that green, biting sort of narcissus scent to it. I don't know what the notes are, whether it's supposed to be a solid floor or not, I don't know. I guess Mediterranean, so it's a Mediterranean lily. But it's really nice. It's not my style. I tend to find lily, it's just not quite me. It's a little bit overbearing lily, I think. Maybe it's a bit old-fashioned as well. It's got sort of old-fashioned connotations. Tracy says my roses took a break but are appearing again. Hopefully yours will do too. Thank you. My problem is I kept forgetting to water them. I'm just not very good. I managed to keep my cat alive and myself, and I think that, you know, that's enough. But I will try and keep my roses alive. I'm not a green thumb, no. I am not. Oh, is Karine here? Oh, hey Karine, nice to see you. Yeah, so Least Mediterranean definitely smells literally like every aspect of a lily, from the stem, maybe a couple of leaves coming off of it, the interior parts of it's just kind of, I don't know why that made me think of vaginas, but the interior parts of the lily as well, the stamen and all the pollen, everything. It's a lily in what do you call it, Technicolor 3D or whatever. You can probably get 5D nowadays, whatever you can get that's the best at the cinema. This is a lily on that level. It's definitely not flat, it is full on. Yeah, I mean, some people might say it smells like a grandma type scent maybe, but I think it's an experience. Like, it's not just a fragrance, it's really full on. So I think that's a really good perfume, and if you're into lily like scents, green white florals, you totally got to try it. It's nothing like, say, like Pure Poison, which I find is a green white floral, but I find that very chaste, very I don't know, virginal, and there's nothing virginal about that. I mean, it made me say vagina, so yeah, it's not a virginal scent at all. Right, let's go for the next one. We've got Don Tebra, which I did have a bottle of, so I do know it, and I definitely like it. Don Tebra means in your arms, I think. In your arms, or in her, yeah, I think it's your arms. And this one, I remember having violet in it. Can't remember what else. Yeah, so definitely got some violet in here, but it's not candied violet. It's not like a really sweet violet. It also reminds me of Putain de Palace from Etat Libre d'Orange. Not sure what else is in here. I can't remember. Smells like there's a backing of patchouli, but not too heavy. What is it? It's very smooth. It's very calm. I guess it's supposed to be comforting, because in your arms, it's a kind of a comforting idea, isn't it? Well, unless you're sort of being held against your will in someone's arms. I don't think that's what they're going for. But then some people like that too, so to each their own. If anyone knows the notes of this, it'd be interesting if you would like to share them, because I honestly am struggling. It could be a touch of rose. There's an acidity in here. It could be like a hint of a sharper rose. So this one is, it's not like Lipstick Rose. Lipstick Rose is really sweet. I feel like Lipstick Rose is it's so pretty, but it's kind of dull once you've had it on your skin for an hour or two. It doesn't really do much, and I need my perfumes to change. I need things to happen. Yeah, this has a little sharp rosiness. I think we've got violet and rose in here. a little hint of a greenness, like a green green grass, like a really pale green grass. Some kind of darker material like a patchouli, something like rich and dark, but not overtaking anything. Here we go. Lily's got the notes. Thank you, Lily. Violet musk, pine tree, cashmere and heliotrope, woodsy notes, sandalwood, patchouli, incense, jasmine. That's from Fragrantica. Okay, I would have sworn there's rose in here. There's definitely this sharpness. So what other flowers do we have? So we've got heliotrope, which would usually bring a slightly almondy feel. I would never have guessed that. Woods notes I could totally get. I can understand sandalwood and incense for sure. Jasmine. Not obviously to me. Jasmine is clearly just blending in rather than being an outstanding note on its own. I'd say the main note is violet for me. And yeah, now you say pine, I get it. I think that's why I'm getting green grass. You know how pine can be a little green? Yeah, I get that. So that's Don Tebra. And then what do we have? Rose and queer. So rose and queer, obviously rose and leather. And I was never too interested in this one because I do shy away from leather. So let's see what happens. Of course that came back into my face. These things happen. Right, let's see. Whew. Okay, that's interesting. I'm getting instantly like something like a fir tree. No, oh, hang on. There's a note in here that's really outstanding, like really noticeable. It's kind of like, it's a woody note. I'm not sure what it is. It's almost slightly sweet. This is really nice. I'm not getting the leather yet, so I was expecting like a full-on leather. I can get the rose, and it's very rounded and smooth at the moment, so it's definitely not the sharp rose that I've described in a couple of others. There's a sweet, for a moment, old school school erasers, not school erasers, but the nice ones that your mum and dad buy you, that smell like fruity sweet. I got a hint of that, just a hint. I think it's gone. This is much sweeter than I expected. That's not to say it's that sweet, but I didn't expect any sweetness. So I feel like there's some sweet, I don't think it's resin, I don't think it's vanilla, I think it could be a sweet resin. And it's really nice. And a really natural woods and green. Yeah, it's almost greenhouse green, not exactly tomato leaf, but verging in that direction without it being too full on. A sweet green. I like it. I'm so surprised. Yeah, it's taking me a little bit into a greenhouse. Just a sweet green, like sweet greens that are kind of like baking inside a greenhouse, so that like it's intensifying the scent of this greenness. Woods, but I couldn't tell you. Maybe there's a sweet sandalwood in here, but every now and then I get old school erasers, you know, like those lovely sweet fruity erasers. Yeah, it's quite sweet. I really like it. It's not what I expected. And it's musky, and it's a little clean. Quite a green rose, says Tim. Yeah, it's making me think of things baking in the sun. I've got to put this on skin, I have to. I am so surprised. I never ever would have thought to try this. Never. So that's on the back of my hand. Really like that. Is that it? Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's giving me a little bit of, is it not Bottega Veneta? What's that rose fragrance in the really stylistic bottle with the big stem, and it's like black and white. Is it? It's not. I don't think it's Bottega Veneta, is it? It's a rose. It's a green rose and cannabis perfume. Really, really cool bottle, designer fragrance. I think it might be just discontinued now. Hey Scott, lovely to see you. You're forgiven. Yeah, I can't think of it now. I know one of you will get it. Designer perfume, rose, cannabis, green, and there was a flanker to it which had the word rose in it, I think. It's making me think of that a little bit. Oh, different on skin. Oh, I don't know, there's something coming out on my skin I don't like. Oh no. What the hell is that? So there's this like smoky, I have no idea what it is. There's a sort of smoky woodsy note, not like Gaiac wood, but in that particular ballpark, you know, like a smoky wood, slightly weird. Herbal. Yeah, it's quite herbal on my skin. It's changing though, so that the thing that I'm not liking is going away already. Yeah. It feels a bit like there's some patchouli in here. But there is a really nice, it's like a rose. Imagine rose and eucalyptus together, like almost minty. This is a really interesting perfume regardless. I'm fascinated by it. There's a lot going on at the moment. It's smelling, yeah, almost like a menthol rose with some darkness. Fascinating. So let's move on to the last one because I don't know how I'm doing for time. Anyone in the UK, tell me what the time is, please. So we're going to go to the final one, which is Promise, which I'm pretty sure I won't like. I might have smelt this in the shop, I can't remember. Is this one of the oud one? I feel like this is one of the more like Middle Eastern ones. Oh, almost 6, so yeah, I need to hurry up. Okay, I mean, it's got writing on it that suggests Middle Eastern. Thank you, Scotty. Right, so Promise. Yeah, I can tell you already. Itchy face. Not sure you'll enjoy this one, but I do, says Kareem. Oh my god. It smells like Harrods in not the best way. I mean, it smells to me like there's some there's some of the scratchy aroma chemicals I don't like I don't know if it's Amber Max or, you know, one of those like really dry, very woody, scratchy aroma chemicals mixed in with some oud, but doesn't smell like when you smell a perfume with real oud in it. It can smell kind of like muck spreading. People say barnyard, but to me I always get muck spreading. If you're walking through the country and people are spreading muck, I don't mind that. I actually don't really like a lot of the oud accords in the mass-produced perfumes that generally aren't really oud. This smells a bit like that, like it smells like modern niche mass market. I know Frederic Malle is mass market now, but I do feel like their perfumes have a touch of class and they're a little bit unique. This is a bombastic, in your face, shouty, look at me, I'm wearing something super expensive, all look my way. And that's not my thing at all. Jackie says, I'm going down the rabbit hole with oud currently, but this doesn't smell like real oud to me. I know it doesn't to me either. I don't think there's oud in this one, but definitely Middle Eastern inspired, says Karine. Okay. Antonio says it dry down is fabulous. There's quite a rich sweetness in here and a fruitiness. Did someone say apple? Because if they did, I could kind of get it. So there is this fruity, like a crisp apple kind of scent in there. It's really rich. It's really big. Tim says promises scrumpy. Yeah, it's not for me. Lily says it does have cypriol in it. I think that has the oud effect. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't smell like this. So there's two reference fragrances that I use when I talk about fake oud that I hate. 24 Gold and Ragbar Lataffa. They're obviously super cheap fragrances and they use some sort of oud substitute, which I cannot bear, and I'm not getting that from this. So maybe it's just the cypriol giving it that oudy like effect, as Lily said. But I do find it a little jarring, obnoxious, loud. It's just not for me. I think if someone wore this and walked past me, I would turn my head and I'd be curious. I'd say, there goes a frag head, but it's just not me. But there's there is definitely this fruitiness, fruity fresh, but not in a citrus way. So like apple, you know, a watery apple, very juicy. And a sweetness, underlying sweetness, probably several different resins, like an amber accord or something like that. Yeah, I'd say it's improving. Karine says, I'm not into poopy or barnyard oud, so if it's tame a bit, that's fine for me. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. It's definitely not for me. Smells like resins, incense, very Middle Eastern inspired with a little fruitiness. It's kind of rich and sweet. Very big, very modern niche. It's totally not for me. But it's not bad. It's not bad at all, but it's just not for me. So that is it. Let's go back to Les Années. Is reminding me of something. Les Années to me, I don't really get much on the citrus anymore. It's mostly powdery. It's like body lotion, iris, makeup powder, talcum powder. Could be just too powdery for me, or albeit very finely milled powder. So it's not like it's not gritty. It's really powdery. It's like the texture of talcum powder or icing sugar. Very soft, very finely milled powder. Some would find that a little cloying. It's reminding me of a perfume. I think the company's called E. Cordray, and it's I think it's the Iris and Rose one. Sort of classic company, but it's that body lotion type feeling. Body lotion and then talcum powder on top kind of smell. Might just be a little almost cloying. I've lost the animalic from it, which I'm quite happy about. I didn't hate it anyway, but it's gone now. It might just be a little sickly, not in that it's too sweet in that, but just in that it's very heavily powdery. It might just be a bit too much. I guess it's the sort of thing you'd wear if you're not really wanting to wear a fragrance, but you need to just keep the sprays very light, like otherwise it's going to be a bit cloying. But if you were going to a meeting or just had a particular occasion where you didn't want a big proper perfume, like a big floral or anything like that, and you just want to smell clean and comforting, then I think that it would do the job. But you want to keep it quite light, because otherwise it's going to be I think a little annoying. Drawn by says one of the new Hermes ouds, Oud Kohl, is very funky. Tried it last week in London. Funk does die off eventually and enjoyed the dry. Isn't that Galan? Or the Hermes also made a fragrance by the same name, because Karine bought Oud Kohl. She did an unboxing on her channel just a couple of days ago. It sounds quite interesting. Right, so yeah, what else are we going to do? Okay, so this is the Rose and Queer. It's now lost the thing that was bothering me. Tim, enjoy your dinner. It sounds amazing. I'm gutted. I'd love to be joining you for that. Yeah, Rose and Queer. It smells like a little dry woody rose. A little bit of sweetness that comes from natural stuff, or things that smell natural, if that makes sense. It feels like it's coming from woods, coming from maybe some greenery. Really interesting perfume. Quite like it. Lacree. That's really sort of come together on my skin now. A musky. I still say the rose is a little on the sharp side. There's a musky rose, a little bit powdery, a little bit of depth. Feels like there's multiple layers of musk to me. It's very, but quite clean musk, nothing dirty. I like that. So my favourites are the two roses actually, Lacree and the Rose and Queer. They're my two favourites of everything I've tried. I think Queer Carnage from Dior is really interesting and absolutely worth your time to sniff out if you're into bubblegummy leathers, basically. Really interested. And that is it. Thank you guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Bye.